Hello everyone, here we are. We're going to get going. We are doing Ecclesiastes and we're going to do chapter 7. Now, fair warning, Facebook, I think they did an update or changed an algorithm. So I'm not able right now to put videos up onto Facebook from my camera. So I want to let you know that you will see the YouTube video, okay? And that's where you should go ahead and watch until I can start getting the video direct up from my camera again. Until then, you're just going to see the video, the YouTube videos. So keep your eyes peeled for them and note what chapter they are so that you keep up. So here we go with Ecclesiastes 7. A good name is better than fine perfume, and the day of death better than the day of birth. It's better to go to a house of mourning than to go to a house of feasting, for death is the destiny of everyone. The living should take this to heart. Frustration is better than laughter because a sad face is good for the heart. The heart of the wise is in the house of mourning, but the heart of fools is in the house of pleasure. So not the house of happiness, but the house of pleasure. And remember, pleasure isn't a lifestyle. It's something that happens that's good when we get it, but it's not a lifestyle, okay? So the heart of fools is in the house of pleasure. So if that's your idea of life, well, then you're foolish. It is better to heed the rebuke of a wise person than to listen to the song of fools. Now, we could certainly think about where we've heard songs of fools. Sometimes in the nightclubs and in the bars, we have been privy to songs of fools. This is not to say there aren't bands with good messages, but we've heard a lot of bands that are foolish. Like the crackling of thorns under the pot, so is the laughter of fools. This too is meaningless. Extortion turns a wise person into a fool, and a bribe corrupts the heart. The end of a matter is better than its beginning, and patience is better than pride. Do not be quickly provoked in your spirit, for anger resides in the lap of fools. Do not say, why were the old days better than these? For it's not wise to ask such questions. And Psalm 73 alludes to that. That's the one about not envying sinners and asking, thinking that you're serving the Lord in vain. And it alludes to thinking that the old days were better than these, if I remember correctly. And that is an unwise question, because though I had a lot of friends, even in sobriety, there were times when I was younger and I was raising my children and I was in church and had lots of friends. And now I'm older and my children are grown and I go through periods of loneliness. But those days weren't better than these. I'm glad to be older. I'm glad to know what I know. I'm glad to be on this journey with the Lord. I'm glad for how he's led me and where he's going to take me, even though I don't know what it is. So no, the old days weren't better. They feel like it sometimes if I get lonely, but I know better. My wisdom tells me they're not better, because this is like a blooming flower, this journey of life that I'm on. And it's just, we're going up through the dirt, we're going up through the soil, and pretty soon we're going to start blooming. We're not there yet, okay? And I think that's the same for everyone, no matter what point of life you're in. You're still going to bloom, okay? Or you're going to bloom again. Wisdom, like an inheritance, is a good thing and benefits those who see the sun, S-U-N. Wisdom is a shelter, as money is a shelter. But the advantage of knowledge is this: wisdom preserves those who have it. So your money isn't going to preserve you. It's not going to save you. Wisdom might. Consider what God has done. Who can straighten what he has made crooked? When times are good, be happy. But when times are bad, consider this: God has made the one as well as the other. Therefore, no one can discover anything about their future. In this meaningless life of mine, I've seen both of these. Now remember, this is King Solomon talking. The righteous perishing in their righteousness, and the wicked living along in their wickedness. Do not be over-righteous, neither be over-wise. Why destroy yourself? Remember, there's a lot of pain in knowledge, so relax. Know what you know at the moment, and don't overdo it. Do not be over-wicked, and don't be a fool. Why die before your time? It's good to grasp the one and not let go of the other. Whoever fears God will avoid all extremes. Wisdom makes one wise person more powerful than 10 rulers in a city. Indeed, there's no one on earth who's righteous, no one who does what is right and never sins. Do not pay attention to every word people say, or you may hear your servant cursing you. For you know in your heart that many times you yourself have cursed others. It's that jawing in the mind. I get into it and I always stop myself and say, hey, let's stop that. But, sometimes it's hard to catch. I'll go on for 20 minutes and then realize, what are you doing? What are you doing? Stop it. All this I tested by wisdom, and I said, I am determined to be wise. But this was beyond me. Whatever exists is far off and most profound. Who can discover it? So I turned my mind to understand, to investigate, and to search out wisdom and the scheme of things, and to understand the stupidity of wickedness and the madness of folly. Oh, my Lord, I would love to understand the stupidity of wickedness and the madness of it. I often wonder why people don't stop themselves in the middle of their wickedness. What are they doing? They're crazy. They're insane. I find more bitter than death the woman who's a snare, whose heart is a trap, and whose hands are chains. The man who pleases God will escape her, but the sinner she will ensnare. Probably a nod back to the promiscuous prostitute, the Proverbs 7 woman whose guests are those that go down to hell. Look, says the teacher, this is what I've discovered. Adding one thing to another to discover the scheme of things while I was still searching but not finding. I found one upright man among 1,000, but not one upright woman among them all. This only have I found. God created mankind upright, but they've gone in search of many schemes. That's a bad testimony. I clearly, being a woman, I'm not against women, but I understand how women benefit with a good husband. I really do, because, and these are just my private thoughts. Don't take this as scripture. But my private thoughts are that woman is so beautiful. She's so dangerous with her beauty. She is a profound gift to the man. And, a good man taking care of a good woman is a good thing. But if you have a woman that's wayward, and if you remember, Proverbs 7 wasn't even talking about a prostitute. It was just talking about an adulteress, someone who just sleeps with anybody or sleeps around. Okay, if you have a woman like that, you're in trouble. Okay, women can be very dangerous. Now, I don't say this to sharpen the divide between, in the battle of the sexes that the world employs. They're involved in all that. As Christians, we don't need to be involved in all that, but women do need a good leader. We do need to be covered and protected. Now, I'm not trying to offend women who are highly capable. I'm highly capable. I know how to protect myself. I know how to take care of myself. But if I were to add a man into this, then that's his job. Doesn't mean I stop, taking care of myself. It just means that the man's job is to protect his wife and take care of her and cover her and watch out for her. Because it was the wife that Satan went for in the garden, because he couldn't get to Adam, so he got to him through the wife. So there's your living proof that women need a good man. Now, I know if you're a feminist, you're going to hate me for saying that, but I'm just talking about the natural order of things. Man and woman, husband and wife. This is a natural order. I'm not talking about some crazy newfangled 33rd gender or what have you. I'm talking about the original natural order that still stands, okay? And the man and the woman are equal, but they have different jobs, okay? That's what I'm saying. So let's look at this again. Adding one thing, look, says the teacher, this is what I've discovered. Adding one thing to another to discover the scheme of things, while I was still searching but not finding, I found one upright man among 1,000, but not one upright woman among them all. What does that tell you? Why is there not even one? Now, I'm not saying there's not even one because there was no man. That's not what I'm saying. It just says to me, and I'm going to give you my own opinion, it says to me that women need help. We need to be covered. We need that extra added protection and a good, strong leader. That's what that tells me. And I'm not ashamed to say that because, as the Apostle Paul said, it was the woman that fell and not the man. Okay, we have to own that. All right, it does not mean we are less than men for 1 minute. It just means we need to own that we'd benefit from a good, strong leader. Okay, my opinion. All right, this only have I found. God created mankind upright, but they've gone in search of many schemes. Ecclesiastes 8. Who is like the wise? Who knows the explanation of things? A person's wisdom brightens their face and changes its hard appearance. Obey the king's command, I say, because you took an oath before God. Do not be in a hurry to leave the king's presence. Don't stand up for a bad cause, for he'll do whatever he pleases. Since a king's word is supreme, who can say to him, "What are you doing?" Whoever obeys his command will come to no harm, and the wise heart will know the proper time and procedure. For there's a proper time and procedure for every matter, though a person may be weighed down by misery. And that reminds me that when you go to confront someone, you make sure, is this the right person, the right time, the right words? You consider things like that before you just blurt out whatever it is you have to say. Since no one knows the future, who can tell someone else what's to come? As no one has power over the wind to contain it, so no one has power over the time of their death. As no one is discharged in time of war, so wickedness will not release those who practice it. That's scary. All this I saw as I applied my mind to everything done under the sun. This is a time when a man lords it over others to his own hurt. Then too I saw the wicked buried, those who used to come and go from the holy place and receive praise in the city where they did this. This too is meaningless. When the sentence for a crime is not quickly carried out, people's hearts are filled with schemes to do wrong. So if someone is a traitor and they're not executed immediately, you might get a posse of vigilantes that come along to do something to that person. And it's a scheme to do wrong. Although a wicked person who commits 100 crimes may live a long time, I know it'll go better with those who fear God, who are reverent before him. Yet because the wicked don't fear God, it will not go well with them, and their days will not lengthen like a shadow. There's something else meaningless that occurs on earth. The righteous who get what the wicked deserve, and the wicked who get what the righteous deserve. This too, I say, is meaningless. That would be bad things happen to good people. It's just the way life is. It's terrible. So I commend the enjoyment of life, because there's nothing better for a person under the sun than to eat and drink and be glad. Then joy will accompany them in their toil all the days of the life God has given them under the sun. When I applied my mind to know wisdom and to observe the labor that is done on earth, people getting no sleep day or night, then I saw all that God has done. No one can comprehend what goes on under the sun. Despite all their efforts to search it out, no one can discover its meaning. Even if the wise claim they know, they cannot really comprehend it. Now, he's not talking about prophecy that Jesus spoke. He's talking about trying to understand this life and how it works, okay? We really can't comprehend it. And even with prophecy, if we look at something like that, why do people say, well, I know this means that? Because Jesus told us. Okay, it doesn't mean we know the time that he's coming back, but we do know the signs because he told us. I'm going to end it here simply because I want to make sure that YouTube will record it and get it up for you. I love you very much. And sometimes if it's longer, it takes a whole day for YouTube to upload it. I love you very much. You have a wonderful evening. Meditate on these thoughts, and we'll talk again tomorrow. We'll get going with Ecclesiastes 9. Love you. Bye-bye.